This video is Mobile HF. Where's the wire going? Warning, we're talking about electricity. Use proper precaution. So where does the wire go? With very few exceptions, the vehicle battery is located under the hood. But wherever it's located, the connection should be neat, clean, properly fused, and clear of obstructions. Split loop can be purchased at a mobile sound shop and should be used to cover the wires. Routing the wire through the firewall must be neat and tidy, and as direct as possible, as well as being properly grommeted to avoid abrasions and the possibility of a short circuit. Unfortunately, manufacturers don't design vehicles for inclusion of amateur radio. In some cases, they purposely leave an unused hole to facilitate high-end stereo equipment, but that is the exception, not the rule. Without the extra hole, most amateurs resort to using existing wiring grommets, which is not recommended. When drilling a hole into the firewall, stay away from the upper part of the firewall, as the air inlet is there, as well as the windshield wiper assembly. Also stay away from any portions of the firewall that are a double firewall. Double-walled firewalls are common in modern vehicles. Best size hole to put in for the firewall is a 3/4 inch, which happens to be the same size as an NMO mount. Once you've drilled the hole and the edges are cleaned up, install a 3/4 inch ID grommet. To make it easier to pull, put a dab of number 77 wire lube on a rag and wipe it down the outside of the wire. This is slick. In almost all cases, the amount of wire needed from the firewall out will be much less than behind the firewall. In other words, feed the wire from the passenger compartment through the firewall to the fuse holder location, and then its final destination. Correctly installed wiring means it should be out of sight, protected from abrasions and sharp edges, and positioned in such a way to eliminate trip hazards and interference from the vehicle's wiring and controls. This requires forethought and patience, and should never be done hurriedly. Running power cables hither and yarn is a prescription for disaster. Individual runs may be strapped together with commercial-grade tie wraps. This should be done after all the runs are installed. Don't use vinyl tape to secure cables, as it will not stand up well in the automotive environment. If you have to use tape, use Scotch 27 high-temperature glass tape. And above all, remember, neatness counts. Make sure all turns are gradual, avoid sharp edges and pinch areas. Use split tubing whenever possible, and especially at interface points that cannot be avoided. And if all else fails, talk to a mobile electronics certified professional or an ASE certified mechanic about your ham radio installation.